Imagine wanting to be rich, free, and happy in 2026, but continuing to live exactly the same way you live today. This is the trap many people fall into. The person wants a better life, wants more money, wants more peace, wants more freedom, but doesn't want to give up anything. Doesn't want to change habits, doesn't want to reassess friendships, doesn't want to cut excesses, doesn't want to endure discomfort, doesn't want to say no when needed. But true wealth is not born from desire alone. It is born from difficult choices repeated with discipline. In this video, you will understand that there are sacrifices that seem hard at first, but that can set your life free in the future. Because sometimes what is preventing a person from growing is not a lack of talent, nor a lack of intelligence, nor a lack of opportunity. Many times it is the attachment to habits, people, and decisions that drain money, energy, and focus. And today, we are going to start with the first sacrifice. Sacrifice 1. Stop giving money to family members in an uncontrolled way. This point is sensitive, but it needs to be addressed with maturity. Many people never manage to grow financially because every time they start to rise, someone pulls part of their money away. Sometimes it is a relative asking for help. Sometimes it is a family member who always shows up with an emergency. Sometimes it is a person who has gotten used to depending on you, even when they could organize themselves better. And note, the message here is not to abandon your family. It is not to become a cold person. It is not to close your heart to those in need. Family is important. Helping is beautiful. Being generous is a quality. The problem begins when your generosity becomes lack of control, because there is a big difference between helping someone and sustaining someone's lack of responsibility. When you give money without limits, without criteria, and without direction, you may end up harming two people, the one who receives and yourself. You harm the one who receives because that person never learns to solve their own problems. They get used to asking, get used to depending, get used to finding in you the quick solution to every difficulty. And you harm yourself because you can never build your own foundation. You never build a reserve. You never invest. You never get out of the tight spot. You never organize your life. You work, you make an effort, you earn. And before taking care of your future, you are already putting out other people's fires. Over time, this becomes a cycle. You feel guilty if you don't help. The person feels free to always ask, and your financial life keeps getting stuck in responsibilities that never end. But here is an important truth. You cannot save everyone while you are drowning. Before lifting other people up, you need to strengthen yourself. Think of an airplane. Before takeoff, the instruction is clear. In case of emergency, put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then help the person beside you. This is not selfishness, it is logic. Because if you pass out trying to help others, no one will be helped. With money, it works the same way. If you still have no reserve, if you live at the limit, if you depend on the next paycheck, if you have debts, if you don't invest, if you have no financial security, then distributing money without control can destroy your own journey. And many people confuse this. They think saying no is a lack of love, but sometimes saying no is the most responsible attitude. You can love your family and still set limits. You can help, but you don't need to sacrifice yourself to the point of breaking. You can support, but you don't need to carry everyone's problems on your back. True help is not always giving money. Sometimes helping means teaching. It means guiding. It means showing a path. It means encouraging the person to learn a skill, look for an opportunity, organize their finances, cut expenses, work with more direction. Because if you give money today, you might solve the problem for a week. But if you help someone think better, learn better, and act better, you can transform that person's life for years. In 2026, if you want to build wealth, you need to learn to separate emotion from strategy. Don't hand over your entire future to solve problems that come back every month. Create rules, set limits. First, set aside money for your reserve, your investments, and your goals. Then, if you can help someone, help with awareness. But don't help in a way that destroys your own construction. Because if you strengthen yourself first, you can help better afterward. When you have stability, you can guide calmly. You can support with more wisdom. You can offer opportunity instead of just money. You can teach financial education. You can help someone rise without creating dependency. But if you remain financially weak, everything becomes a burden. Help becomes guilt. Family becomes pressure. Money becomes conflict. And you spend years trying to be the solution for everyone, while your own life stays stuck. That is why the first sacrifice is this: stop giving money in an uncontrolled way. Don't stop loving. Don't stop caring. Don't stop helping when it is possible. But stop destroying yourself financially because you don't know how to set limits. Because in 2026, those who want to build wealth need to understand one thing. Before being everyone's financial support, you need to build your own foundation. First, strengthen yourself. First, get organized. First, learn. First, build. Then, when you are stronger, your help will be far more powerful. Sacrifice. 2, cut the expensive nights out that steal your money, your focus, and your energy. The second sacrifice you need to make, if you want to grow financially in 2026, is to stop turning every weekend into an expensive escape. Parties, nightclubs, bars, unplanned outings, drinks, apps, food out, new clothes for going out, transportation, cover charges, impulse spending, all of this seems small when it happens once. But when it becomes routine, it starts draining your money without you noticing. And the worst part, it doesn't only steal money, it also steals sleep, energy, focus, and time. Many people say they can't save money, but spend every weekend as if they were rich. They go out on Friday, spend on Saturday, order food on Sunday, and start Monday tired, unfocused, and broke. Then they complain that their financial life doesn't change. But the truth is simple. You cannot want to build wealth while keeping habits that drain your salary every week. This doesn't mean you'll never go out or have fun again. That's not it. The smart financial sacrifice is not to end your social life. It is to stop spending without control just to seem like you're enjoying life. Because there is fun that fits your plan, and there is fun that destroys your future. If you want to build wealth in 2026, you need to start making more practical choices. For example, instead of going out every weekend, choose only 1 or 2 outings a month. Instead of spending without limits, set a maximum amount before you go out. Instead of using your credit card on impulse, bring a fixed budget. Instead of coming home not knowing how much you spent, write everything down the next day. This is financial maturity. The person who wants to change their life needs to ask before every outing, is this expense within my plan, or am I just escaping my reality? Because many times the person goes out not because they truly want to, but because they are tired, frustrated, wanting to forget their problems, or wanting to keep up with others. And that is the danger. You start spending money to relieve stress, but then create more stress because the money runs out. So the sacrifice here is straightforward. Cut the excess. If you used to spend every weekend, cut it in half. If you spent without limits, set limits. If you went out because of peer pressure, learn to say, not today. If you spent hours in environments that add nothing to you, use part of that time to study, create an extra income, organize your finances, or build a project. Think about this. One expensive night can consume the money you would use to start an investment, buy a course, pay off a debt, or build your reserve. And when you repeat that expensive night several times a month, the damage stops being small. The problem is not having fun. The problem is sacrificing your financial freedom for pleasures that last only a few hours. In 2026, you need to choose your rewards better. Instead of rewarding yourself by spending everything, reward yourself by getting stronger. Reward yourself by watching your reserve grow. Reward yourself by paying off a debt. Reward yourself by putting money into something that will work for you. Because those who want wealth need to learn to trade quick pleasures for bigger results. This is the second sacrifice. Stop spending your best hours and your money on nights that build nothing for your future. Use your free time with more intention. Use your money with more respect. And remember, each weekend can bring you closer to financial freedom or trap you even more in the same life. Sacrifice 3. Distance yourself from people who pull your financial life down. The third financial sacrifice you need to make in 2026 is to choose more carefully who has access to your mind, your time, and your money. Because many people want to build wealth, but keep spending time with people who only think about spending, complaining, and living on impulse. Friends who call you to go out when you are trying to save. People who laugh when you talk about investing. People who say that studying money is a waste of time. Colleagues who encourage installment purchases, debt, and showing off. People who want you to stay the same because your change makes them uncomfortable. And here is the truth. Your social circle influences your financial decisions more than you realize. If you spend a lot of time with people who spend everything, soon that starts to seem normal. If everyone around you lives in debt, you start to see debt as something common. If everyone complains about life but nobody does anything to change it, you may end up accepting the same mindset. That is why this sacrifice is practical. Stop financially following people who are heading somewhere you don't want to go. This doesn't mean looking down on anyone. It doesn't mean thinking you're better. It doesn't mean abandoning everyone. It means protecting your direction. You can respect people without copying their habits. If someone spends everything they have, don't accept that person as a financial advisor. If someone has never built anything, be careful when they criticize your plans. If someone calls you excessive because you want to save, perhaps that person doesn't understand the life you are trying to build. In 2026, you need to get closer to environments that strengthen your mindset. Look for people who talk about growth, people who study, people who want to improve, people who respect your effort. People who, instead of laughing at your goals, ask, how can I learn too? Because a good friendship doesn't need to have a lot of money, but it needs to have a mindset of progress. Now, do a simple exercise. Look at the 5 people you talk to the most. Do they bring you closer to your financial freedom, or do they pull you back toward the same old habits? When you say you want to save money, do they support you or mock you? When you say you are going to cut expenses, do they understand or pressure you? When you decide to study, do they respect that or try to distract you? When you start to change, do they celebrate or try to bring you back? Those answers say a lot. The right environment can accelerate your growth. The wrong environment can set your life back by years. Many people don't fail because of lack of ability. They fail because they stay trapped in groups that normalize financial mediocrity. So the sacrifice here is this. Stop feeding relationships that sabotage your growth. Reduce conversations that only bring complaints. Cut back on outings that lead you to spend without thinking. Stop trying to convince those who don't want to change. Protect your plans from those who only know how to criticize. And start seeking content, people, and environments that elevate your vision. Because in 2026, you don't just need to earn more money. You need to be surrounded by thoughts that help you build wealth. If your current circle only pulls you toward consumption, debt, and distraction, perhaps it is time to change circles. This is the third sacrifice. Distance yourself from the influence that keeps you financially poor and get closer to those who inspire you to grow. Sacrifice. 4. Stop spending money to impress others. The fourth financial sacrifice you need to make in 2026 is to stop buying things just to appear as though you are winning. because many people are not broke due to lack of income. They are broke because they try to maintain an image that is too expensive. They buy expensive clothes to be noticed. They trade in their phone without needing to. They finance a heavy car to look successful. They pay in installments for trips, accessories, status items, and things that don't even fit in the budget, all to project an image of progress. But here is the truth. Looking rich is not the same as building wealth. Most of the time, those who try to impress others end up sacrificing their own future. The person looks fine on the outside, but on the inside is suffocating under installment payments, credit card debt, maxed out limits, and worry. And this is a dangerous trap, because society often applauds appearances, not assets. People see the car, but not the debt. They see the new outfit, but not the credit card installments. They see the trip, but not the bill arriving afterward. They see the nice photo, but not the lack of a financial reserve. So if you want to grow financially in 2026, you need to sacrifice this need for approval. Before buying something, ask, do I really need this, or am I trying to prove something to someone? That question can save a lot of money, because many purchases are not born from necessity. They are born from comparison. You see someone buying, traveling, trading in their car, showing off a beautiful life, and you feel like you need to keep up. But keeping up with other people's lifestyle can destroy your own financial plan. The person who wants to build wealth needs to learn to live through a building phase without shame. Maybe you don't have the best car yet. Maybe you don't wear the most expensive clothes yet. Maybe you haven't taken your dream trip yet. Maybe you still need to say no to certain purchases, and that is fine. This is not failure, this is strategy. Failure is spending money you don't have to impress people who won't pay your bills. Instead of buying things to look rich, use that money to become financially stronger. Pay off a debt, build your reserve, invest in knowledge, start a small asset, organize your budget, take a real step forward even if no one sees it. Because true wealth is often silent. While some are spending to show off, others are building without making noise. While some are worried about appearances, others are accumulating knowledge, investments, and freedom. And in the future, the difference shows. Those who spent to impress may end up with expensive objects and little security. Those who built with discipline may end up with more peace of mind, more options, and more control over their own lives. So the sacrifice here is very practical. Stop buying status before building a foundation. Don't buy a car that ties up your salary. Don't pay in installments for luxury while you lack a reserve. Don't raise your lifestyle just to receive compliments. Don't try to look successful before you are financially protected. In 2026, choose to build before you show. Because the goal is not to look rich for a few minutes. The goal is to become truly free over time. This is the fourth sacrifice. Sacrifice the need to impress others and use your money to build a life that truly sustains you. Sacrifice 5. Stop seeking validation in relationships that don't add value. The fifth financial sacrifice for 2026 is to stop spending time, money, and energy trying to impress people who are not walking in the same direction as you. Many people delay their own financial life because they enter relationships where they need to prove their worth all the time. They spend more than they can, go to expensive places, buy gifts beyond their budget, change important plans, and set their goals aside just to be accepted. But a relationship that requires you to destroy your financial life to keep up appearances is not helping you grow. If you want to build wealth, you need to be around people who respect your building phase. People who understand when you say, right now I need to save, right now I need to study, right now I need to focus on my future. This doesn't mean stopping loving or stopping relating to others. It means choosing more carefully where you put your energy, because the right person will not laugh at your dreams. They will not pressure you to spend what you don't have. They will not make you feel ashamed for wanting to organize your life. On the contrary, they will walk alongside you, support your discipline, and understand that financial freedom requires choices. So, in 2026, sacrifice the need to please everyone. Stop spending to be accepted. Stop going into debt to impress. Stop abandoning your plans for those who don't value your growth. Choose relationships that add value, that strengthen your mind, and that respect your vision for the future. Because when you stop seeking validation from the wrong people, you have more energy to build the right life. Sacrifice. 6. Abandon the comfort that is killing your dreams. The sixth financial sacrifice for 2026 is to step out of false security. Many people call it stability, a life that is, in reality, standing still. The person receives a salary, pays bills, repeats the same routine, complains that nothing changes, but is afraid to try something different. And this comfort can be dangerous, because it doesn't destroy your life all at once. It slowly erases your dreams. Today you put off a project. Tomorrow you stop studying. Then you accept living on autopilot. And before you know it, years have passed and you are still in the same place. If you want to grow financially, you need to sacrifice your comfort zone. This doesn't mean quitting everything without thinking. It means starting to act with courage and strategy, setting aside time to learn, creating an extra income, organizing your money, studying investments, developing a skill, doing something that brings you closer to the life you desire. Because financial freedom is not born inside comfort. It is born when you decide to do what needs to be done, even without motivation, even with fear, even starting small. In 2026, stop using the word security to justify a life that doesn't move you forward. True security is having a reserve. It is having knowledge. It is having skills. It is having assets. It is having options. This is the sixth sacrifice. Give up temporary comfort to build permanent freedom. Sacrifice 7. Step away from expensive objects before the right time. The seventh financial sacrifice for 2026 is to stop chasing luxury before building wealth. Expensive cars, new phones, watches, brand-name clothes, accessories, trips, and shiny objects may attract attention, but if they come before your financial foundation, they become traps, because many people buy expensive things to seem like they have made it, but still have no reserve, no investments, and no freedom. In 2026, do it differently. Before buying something expensive, ask, will this strengthen my financial life or just feed my appearance? If you still need to pay off debts, build a reserve, invest, or create a source of income, perhaps that luxury can wait. First build, first organize, first invest, first strengthen your foundation. Then, when your money is working for you, comfort will carry a different weight. This is the seventh sacrifice. Stop buying shine before building real wealth. Sacrifice 8. Abandon impatience. The eighth financial sacrifice for 2026 is to stop wanting immediate results. Many people start saving, studying, or investing, but quit quickly because they see no change in a few days. But wealth is not born like magic. Wealth is like planting a seed. First you tend it, water it, protect it, wait, and only then do you see it grow. If you want financial freedom, you need to sacrifice the hurry. Stop jumping from idea to idea. Stop chasing easy promises. Stop quitting at the beginning. Keep studying, keep saving, keep investing, keep building assets, even if the progress seems small. Because small progress repeated over a long time turns into great results. In 2026, be patient with the process, but firm in your discipline. This is the eighth sacrifice. Trade impatience for consistency, because those who quit too early never see the seed become a tree. Sacrifice 9. Let go of the ease mindset. The ninth and final financial sacrifice for 2026 is to abandon the idea that wealth comes without effort. Many people want to earn more, invest better, and live with freedom, but don't want to study, don't want to cut excess, don't want to wait, don't want to change habits, and don't want to face discomfort. But everything that has value comes at a price. Financial freedom requires discipline. Building wealth requires patience. Extra income requires practice. Investing requires study. Life change requires action. If you keep choosing the easiest path, you may stay trapped in the same results. But when you accept doing what needs to be done, even when it is not comfortable, you begin to build a different life. In 2026, stop looking for miraculous shortcuts. Start with simple but consistent steps. Organize your money, cut waste, study, invest with awareness, and build assets gradually. This is the final sacrifice. Trade the search for ease for the decision to truly grow. Because those who choose only comfort today may lose their freedom tomorrow. But those who accept the effort now can build a much stronger future. Now, if these 9 sacrifices made sense to you, don't let this video end as just another piece of content you watched and forgot. Because change doesn't begin when you earn more money. Change begins when you decide to act differently with the money that already passes through your hands. So if today you understood that you need to cut excess, protect your energy, take better care of your time, stop spending to impress, and start building a stronger financial life, make a commitment to yourself right now. Write in the comments, "I will change." Comment "I will change," not just for the channel, but so you yourself can read that phrase and remember that a new phase is beginning. And if you want to keep receiving content that helps you think better, use your money better, and walk toward financial freedom, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because this could be the beginning of your turning point. But the one who needs to take the first step is you. Comment now, "I will change."